G7 is a rich man's club, and it's composed of 7 countries, advanced countries, developed countries. But I would want to highlight that G7 is 7 countries. They represent the interest of the 7 countries. In terms of the number of countries, there are only 7 countries. In terms of the populations of those countries, they are a minority in the world, international community. Even in terms of the economic power, the economic power of G7 put together is less than 40% of the global total. What I'm trying to say is that the G7 represent G7 countries. They do not represent international community. And very unfortunately, during the recent G7 foreign ministers meeting, some very, very negative message has been sent out to the public globally. And they are not only targeting China as a so-called threat, but also trying to coordinate with other countries in the region and globally to contain China. I think the issue, the essence of the issue is not about the so-called security issue or China's foreign policy or China's relations with those countries. The essence of the question is whether or not the developed countries are ready to accept China's further development. For countries like the G20, they are developed countries. There are people who have been enjoying their top-level living standard for several decades. They want to continue that, and it's good for them. But for countries like China, other developing countries, we want to make progress. We want to give our people a better life. It's our legitimate right. I think, and I hope that those developed countries would be, quote-unquote, kind enough to allow the developing countries to develop or to further develop, to enjoy a better living standard. China is not a threat. China is a peace-loving country. We're ready to coexist with each and every country in the world, including the members of the G7. And I hope that the G7 members will really take a responsible position, look at China objectively, and take a proper policies instead of misleading international community, misleading their own countries, and making judgment and taking measure that are going to be detrimental to the normal relations between China and those countries and to the peace and prosperity of the region.